Hello, my name is Jane Maynard, Senior Communications Manager for Velodyne Lidar. Welcome to Velodyne Lidar's virtual press conference during CES 2022. We will begin shortly. There will be a question and answer period at the end of the press conference. Questions can be submitted via the chat box in the Zoom webinar link, which can be found on our social media channels and in the description for our YouTube live broadcast. Investors, please note that Velodyne will also be participating in a JP Morgan fireside chat later this afternoon, and we intend to report our fourth quarter results at the end of February. Now, to get us started, we will share a short video highlighting Velodyne. Welcome, and thank you for joining Velodyne Lidar's virtual press conference today. I am Jane Maynard, Senior Manager of Communications for Velodyne Lidar. As a reminder, we will have a question and answer period at the end of today's presentation. In order to submit questions, please watch via the Zoom webinar link and submit via the chat function. If you are on YouTube and have a question for our speakers, please join the Zoom link listed in the YouTube description. Investors should take note that we will also be participating in a JP Morgan fireside chat this afternoon. And you can also join us for our fourth quarter results call at the end of February. Please note that the market and operational data discussed today is reflective of the information from our latest investor presentation, which can be found at investors.velodynelidar.com. And now I am so excited to introduce our first speaker, Sinclair Vass, Chief Commercial Officer for Velodyne. Thank you, Sinclair.
Thanks, Jane, and hello, everybody. As Jane just mentioned, my name is Sinclair Vass, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Velodyne Lidar. We really appreciate you joining this event today, and thank you also for your flexibility as we move the event from live to virtual. We would have loved to meet you all at CES, but with the rise of COVID-19 cases, we chose a safety-first approach and decided not to travel to Vegas this year. I joined Velodyne about a year ago after many years of leadership experience in diverse markets such as telecommunications, consumer electronics, industrial lasers, and even banknote anti-counterfeiting. What convinced me to join Velodyne was their incredibly strong technology pool, the huge potential market opportunity that LiDAR represents, and the really talented and motivated employee base. Since then, I've been fully focused on building out the commercial team to provide excellent support for our customers and build our presence in all geographical regions. I truly believe that the adoption of LiDAR will expand rapidly over the next few years, and that Velodyne is exceptionally well positioned to help drive that growth. Whilst, of course, staying true to our core mission of enabling a safer, more sustainable, and more efficient world. Back in July last year, when the search for a new CEO started, our focus was on finding somebody with a proven track record of scaling innovative technology in high-growth markets, uniting teams behind common goals, and growing shareholder value in publicly traded companies. After an extensive search, we were unanimous in our decision that Ted Tewksbury was the best choice to lead Velodyne to even greater success, and he was appointed CEO in November last year. And the good news is that having worked closely with Ted for nearly 2 months now, I'm even more convinced that we made the right choice. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ted, who will give you a deeper insight into his background, his views on our target markets, and also his overall vision for Velodyne. Ted, over to you.
Thank you, Sinclair. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We really appreciate all of you taking the time to join us today. We had a magnificent booth planned for CES and had really hoped to see all of you there in person. But as Sinclair mentioned, we wanted to stay true to our vision of science in service of safety, and so we've made it virtual instead. I hope everyone is staying safe, healthy, and having a wonderful new year. And we do look forward to connecting with all of you in person sometime soon. It is truly an honor to be here as Velodyne's new CEO. In my first couple of months with the company, I have been incredibly impressed with the caliber of the management team and the deep bench of talent at this company. Let me take just a few moments to introduce myself so that you can understand what brought me to this opportunity. I'm an engineer and technology CEO with more than 3 decades of experience building successful businesses. Most recently, I was CEO of Ada Compute, a startup developing energy-efficient, AI-powered vision solutions for smart buildings and transportation. Before that, I served as CEO of 3 public companies, including Integrated Device Technology and Entropic Communications, both of which delivered outsized returns for all stakeholders. Earlier, as president of AMI Semiconductor and managing director at Maxim, I led teams that developed high-performance mixed signal solutions for automotive, industrial, optical communications, wireless infrastructure, medical, computing, consumer, and other markets. The key to all of these business successes was an unwavering focus on the customer, on understanding their needs and problems, and addressing them with cutting-edge technology solutions. I remain an engineer at heart, with a passion for using technology to improve the quality of life on this planet. And that really is what attracted me to LiDAR. LiDAR has the power to dramatically improve safety, sustainability, and efficiency of a world in motion. I joined Velodyne for 3 reasons. First, because I passionately believe in the company's mission of creating smart technologies for a world in motion and their vision of science in service of safety. Second, of all the LiDAR companies out there, Velodyne is far and away the best positioned for success. Velodyne invented the modern LiDAR and spawned an entire industry. Ever since that time, Velodyne has been at the vanguard of continuous LiDAR innovation. Velodyne is also the market leader, shipping more sensors than all other LiDAR companies combined. In fact, we shipped over 15,000 sensors in the last 12 months alone. Velodyne offers the broadest product portfolio, meeting a wide variety of applications and use cases across multiple industries. Velodyne has over 300 customers and is the most revered brand name in the industry. And very importantly, Velodyne is the only company today that is shipping real-world LiDAR products at scale, paving the way for ubiquitous LiDAR. The third reason I joined is that my proven track record of building and scaling successful technology businesses and generating revenue growth, profitability, and shareholder value will help Velodyne grow to the next level. This is an incredibly exciting time for the LiDAR industry and for Velodyne specifically. The demand for LiDAR is growing exponentially, driven by autonomous vehicles, advanced driver assistance systems, industrial and robotics, intelligent infrastructure, and smart cities. In all of these applications, safety is paramount. LiDAR must be part of any autonomous mobility system to ensure safety regardless of lighting, weather, and other conditions. Over the past several years, our sales team has been working closely with customers and partners to design LiDAR into their systems. As a result, we now have over 200 active projects in the pipeline and 35 multi-year agreements. We're very excited to see some of these projects starting to move from the research and development phase into pre-production and hopefully soon into qualification and full production. We'll provide more detail on our markets and customers in a moment. But first, let me tell you what the future holds for Velodyne. Our goal is to make LiDAR ubiquitous by making it more affordable and easy to use by anyone for any application. We'll do this by focusing on 4 pillars. First, we'll continue to expand LiDAR applications beyond automotive into industrial and robotics, intelligent infrastructure, autonomous vehicles, and other new markets. We believe that these will be the largest and fastest growing LiDAR markets in the next several years, and Velodyne is uniquely positioned to win with the ideal product market fit. We also believe that LiDAR will be essential to meeting the demanding safety requirements of advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS, over the longer term. But unlike some of our competitors, we are not exclusively focused on automotive. Our mission of creating smart technologies for a world in motion extends well beyond just cars. The diversity of our markets makes Velodyne less susceptible to ADAS timing uncertainties and enables us to participate in multiple layers of growth over both the short term and the longer term. Second, we will develop high-performance LiDAR solutions at attractive price points to accelerate mass adoption. This is especially important in automotive, where we believe that competitive offerings are inherently too costly for mainstream adoption. Third, we will continue to extend our software solutions to make it easier for customers to deploy our sensors and to obtain actionable perception information to guide a safe autonomous decision-making. Intelligent systems need to go well beyond just seeing to understanding their physical surroundings in order to accurately predict trajectories, plan paths, avoid collisions, regardless of weather and lighting conditions. And fourth, we are committed to supporting our customers' volume wins with the industry's highest quality, reliability, and customer satisfaction. I look forward to working with the Velodyne team and all of our customers and partners to make your LiDAR deployments successful. I'm now very pleased to introduce Laura Wrisley, our Vice President of North American Sales, who will provide an overview of the trends we're seeing in each of our 4 major market segments and the customers that we're working with. Laura?
Thank you, Ted. On behalf of the commercial organization, we really appreciate your focus on our customers, on their need to understand the physical world around their solutions, and we are thrilled about your commitment to ensure that they have access to the right LiDAR-based solution at the right price for their applications. We are all delighted to have you on board and at the helm. Thank you, everyone, for joining this virtual CES press conference. I especially would like to thank all of our Velodyne partners who were planning to demonstrate their solutions in our booth at the show. While we're not in person, we and our customers understand the importance of safety. We were and still are excited to host a wide variety of partners across many different industry segments to our booth this year. Each partner's presentation, which was to be given at CES, will be available via our YouTube channel. Please follow our social media accounts to watch them. At Velodyne, as we closed up last year and began to focus on 2022 and the years beyond, we took some time to reflect on the overall trends we're seeing in each of the 4 major market segments: industrial and robotics, intelligent infrastructure and smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and the automotive segment. First, the industrial and robotics segment is the closest to commercially scaled deployments. This is being driven by the proliferation of intelligent automation in factories, warehouses, ports, and other applications. These trends have been catalyzed by recent events such as global pandemic and the supply chain shortage. In warehouses, customers like Twinny are using LiDAR-enabled robots to move goods with a higher level of precision, efficiency, and safety, helping to maintain continuity of operations. In order to optimize supply chain, solutions like Tracked Easy from customer Easy Mile are automating materials handling at airports, factories, and industrial sites to increase efficiency and keep their customers safe. Last mile delivery robots and drones are increasingly being used to deliver goods and food from the warehouse to people's homes while keeping them safe with touchless delivery. In ports, LiDAR-based technologies are being used to guide ship cranes and help vessels navigate, dock, and unload safely. There are currently over 5,000 LiDAR-enabled AGVs, or automated guided vehicles, in ports, helping them to stay open around the clock. Other customers using LiDAR-enabled drones like Emiscent's HoverMap to access hazardous or remote mining locations that would otherwise be inaccessible by humans. Or Exyn Technologies' fully autonomous drone, Exyn Aero, which uses Velodyne Lidar to navigate complex industrial environments without a pilot. Both companies are focused on improving the safety of their customers, which is a common vision shared and amplified by Velodyne Lidar. We see interesting uses of LiDAR in so many other applications, from customer line vision's power line supervision solution, or Renew Robotics' vegetation management system, to other uses across industries like oil and gas, minerals, chemicals, energy, and construction plants. Second, and one of the more exciting new LiDAR markets is intelligent infrastructure and smart cities. In partnership with the award-winning Blue City Technologies, Velodyne's Intelligent Infrastructure Solution, or IIS, uses LiDAR to create a real-time 3D map of roads and intersections to provide precise traffic monitoring and analytics. Unlike cameras and radar, IIS can reliably collect data in any weather or lighting condition, supporting year-round operation. Additionally, LiDAR cannot be used to identify facial features, which eliminates the privacy concern of camera-based systems and preserves public trust. Municipalities can use IIS to predict and diagnose safety issues, analyze near misses, and take preventative action before accidents occur. By improving traffic flow and reducing congestion, IIS improves energy efficiency and reduces greenhouse gas emissions for a more sustainable future. IIS is currently deployed across 3 continents, with pilots rolled out in Texas, Florida, Nevada, California, New Jersey, Missouri, and Canada. And we expect this momentum to accelerate with new funding from the recently passed infrastructure bill. Third, in the autonomous vehicle segment, LiDAR is an essential technology. Autonomous shuttles like Beep by Navia, May Mobility, and leading robotaxi innovators like Motional are integrating Velodyne's LiDAR in their system to provide the highest levels of performance and safety. New electric vehicle companies like Faraday Future are choosing Velodyne Lidar to differentiate themselves relative to incumbents. Lidar enables increased autonomy, safety, and power efficiency to maximize driving range. Speaking of efficiency, LiDAR-enabled autonomous trucks like Ford Autozone can save fuel and can operate 24/7, helping to ease supply chain bottlenecks. Finally, for entertainment, we're even seeing the use of our LiDAR-based solution in combination with NVIDIA's Drive platform to power driverless race cars like RoboRace. Be sure to check out their vehicle on Velodyne's social media this week. Fourth, in the automotive segment, Level 2+ and Level 3 ADAS has been slower than expected to reach full deployment, but we remain convinced that the high functional safety levels required for an automotive can only be solved with LiDAR. Velodyne's H800 solid-state sensor is being evaluated by a number of automotive customers, and in conjunction with our Vela software, can dramatically improve safety. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, over 20,000 people lost their lives in traffic fatalities in the first 6 months of 2021. This is an 18.4% increase over the same period last year, and the largest increase ever recorded, despite fewer miles being driven. Approximately 76 of pedestrian fatalities happen at night or in low light conditions. Velodyne's pedestrian automatic emergency braking solution, PAEB, has been shown to dramatically improve safety in darkness. Velodyne is actively working with congressional leaders and government agencies to pass legislation requiring LiDAR in ADAS and automated vehicles, as well as mandating testing under low light conditions where LiDAR can help protect vulnerable road users. As Ted mentioned, Velodyne is the only LiDAR company to be anywhere close to critical mass. We have a broader portfolio than any competitor. Our products are real. In the last 12 months, Velodyne shipped over 15,000 sensors. 15,000 sensors were ordered, manufactured, shipped, and put to good use in our customers' applications. So again, thank you to all of our partners. We feel so lucky and honored to work with every single one of you. At this time, we'll hand it over to Jane and open the floor for Q&A.
Hello. A big thank you to Sinclair, Ted, and Laura. Ted and Sinclair will now join us as well so we can proceed with today's Q&A. To ask a question, please ensure you have joined the press conference via the Zoom webinar link and submit your question via the chat option in Zoom. If you are joining us on YouTube Live, you can find the Zoom link in the description to switch over to Zoom. When submitting your question via chat, feel free to share your name and publication or organization if you so choose. All right, we will now give everyone a moment to settle in, submit some questions, and then we will get started. Okay, let me pull up our running list. Okay, this first one's for you, Ted. Are you ready?
Go ahead, Jane.
All right. What are the barriers to greater LiDAR adoption in perimeter security applications, and how soon do you see these challenges being solved?
Well, I think the biggest barrier is the one that I discussed when I was talking about our 4 pillars going forward, and that is prices need to come down in the LiDAR industry to really drive mass adoption and democratize LiDAR so that more people can use it in more applications. And I should say, first of all, with respect to price, Velodyne today does offer for the highest performance applications where safety really matters, we do have the lowest price in the industry. As volumes start to go up, the prices will come down, as they always do when new technologies start to hit the volume. And then thirdly, with respect to price, I should mention the fact that we are not just selling components, we are selling complete solutions, including hardware and software. And so if you look at the entire value of that solution to customers, Velodyne is very attractively priced relative to all the competition. But that being said, and to the question, one of our pillars is to develop new architectures that will bring down the prices so that we can drive broader adoption of LiDAR across a wider range of applications.
Great, thank you. All right, Laura, we have one for you. Where do you see the biggest opportunities for LiDAR and for Velodyne in general?
Yes, as Ted mentioned in his portion, and there's such a broad opportunity for LiDAR across a very diverse set of industry segments, from smart cities and infrastructure to industrial and robotics, to automotive, and of course to autonomous vehicles. And of course, as Ted mentioned, we see an early sort of near-term opportunity really growing and expanding in industrial and robotics. And I think that segment is the one that we are really the most excited about with our customer engagements in enabling their applications.
Great, thank you. Okay, Sinclair, it's your turn. There has been so much discussion regarding LiDAR's effectiveness in fog, snow, and rain. Can you clear this up once and for all?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think if you look in the ADAS space, the autonomous vehicle space, I mean, no one technology gives you a foolproof solution. You're looking, 1 × 10⁹ type of safety accuracy to really allow an autonomous car to hit the road. And so you need camera, you need, ultrasonics at times, you need the sort of integration of these systems. And for LiDAR, particularly when weather gets bad, LiDAR excels. So if you get fog, you get rain, the fact that LiDAR is its own light source, it's emitting light, it's not relying on that light coming from other areas. So it can better illuminate the scene and it can better interpret the data, particularly in these dark environments, at nighttime and twilight, or in heavy rain or snow. So we think you're never going to solve the problem with one technology, but all of the different solutions need to involve a LiDAR to really give you that maximum safety solution.
Which follows up on another question that came in that said, can autonomous cars count solely on cameras? Which there are some attempts at that in the industry. Can you just evolve or go a little bit further on the idea of a sensor stack and kind of what our proposed solution is for that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, one notable car manufacturer has said publicly that they don't believe in the LiDAR as necessary. I would say the rest of the world pretty much sees that LiDAR as a key component. And it does come down to what level of comfort do you have to let a car drive itself? You as a user, if you say there is no longer a steering wheel in that car, are you comfortable with the car sort of knowing if that's a white truck crossing in front of you or it truly is an open road? So if you want that degree of comfort in all rain conditions, all snow, dark lighting conditions, you need to have LiDAR as part of the solution. And as Ted mentioned, we can drive the price points down to that sort of level where there's no financial barrier for the car manufacturer to adopt that technology. So it's going to take a while. We don't believe that the ADAS market is going to ramp up for the next couple of years, but we do believe it will, and we do believe autonomous vehicles will come and they will have LiDAR on them to support that safety criteria.
If I could just chime in and add something to that, Sinclair. Laura talked about pedestrian automatic assist emergency braking systems. And in independent testing that was done comparing Velodyne with a major EV manufacturer down the road here, it was shown that in many cases where the alternative system failed to brake in time to save a pedestrian's life, Velodyne's PAEB system worked and was able to brake, which would have, in a real situation, saved lives.
Yeah.
And I'll put a little plug in. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see the video that compares the cars. It's pretty eye-opening. Go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to add that so much of our focus is always on it or LiDAR, cameras or LiDAR. I think there's so much to be said for redundancy in sensor modality on a system. I think when you're talking about maximizing safety, it's important to consider that maybe all sensors are necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is absolutely right, Laura. And that's where I would also add that software comes into play. I totally agree with you that the ultimate solution for applications like automotive, especially where safety is paramount, will wind up being a sensor fusion between radar and LiDAR and cameras. And it's going to take sophisticated software to be able to stitch all of those sensor inputs together and provide the level of safety that's required in those applications. And that's why, one of our pillars is to focus on advanced software for exactly those kinds of reasons.
So kind of as a follow-up to that, Ted, somebody asked, I would like to know if the intelligent transport infrastructure, or similar to our IIS that Laura discussed, if that via our products can increase the safety of autonomous vehicles.
It absolutely will increase the safety of autonomous vehicles. Ultimately, the vision is to use 5G communications to do vehicle to everything, or V2X communications. And so right now we have LiDAR mounted at intersections, which is providing 3D mapping of roads and intersections, pedestrians, bicycles, automobiles, and taking that information to an edge AI processor to do analytics on that information. And then that can be uploaded to the cloud. And municipalities can use that information to identify safety hazards, predict where accidents may happen, and as Laura said, use those analytics to take preventative action. But as the V2X technologies come into play, that information will also be can be transmitted back to vehicles to issue warnings. For example, slow down. There's a vehicle coming from another direction that might collide with you. So absolutely, the intelligent transportation systems will find their way into vehicles. And I might also add that the LiDAR on those vehicles will also be gathering information that can be transmitted to the edge processor and to the cloud. So there's going to be a massive amount of data that can be used to improve safety across the board, and especially for vulnerable road users like cyclists or pedestrians.
It's pretty amazing. Okay, we have another question for Ted. What is Velodyne's ability to deliver solid state products in the near term with respect to fabrication availability?
That's a great question. And our solid state products, which include our M1600 and our H800, which Laura alluded to, have been sampling to customers for quite some time. The M1600 is focused more on warehouse applications, industrial robotics for factories, warehouses, and so forth, ports and so forth. And then the H800 is an automotive grade product, which is more for ADAS kinds of applications. But those are late in the development phase, moving into production. And with respect to manufacturing, we have manufacturing in Thailand and Japan, which are able to provide high volumes of these products to our customers. And we'll be doing that in 2022. I should also mention that our products use traditional CMOS foundries, which is really important because we're all aware of the supply chain constraints that we're seeing across the industry. We made a very judicious choice here at Velodyne to use 905 nanometer lasers as opposed to 1550 nanometer lasers, as some of our competitors have done. The 905 nanometer lasers, our ASICs, our processing chips, can be built with conventional CMOS processing, and there's a readily available foundry supply for those electronics. For those competitors who were unfortunate enough to choose 1550 nanometer, they have to use 3-5 compound semiconductors, things like indium gallium arsenide, for which the foundry capacity is in short supply. So in terms of supply chain and our ability to manufacture our solid state LiDARs in volume, we are very well positioned there.
So you're so good, Ted. I was going to ask you a supply chain question. You wove it right in perfectly. And another question that came in that follows up nicely to this conversation is, you've already kind of touched on one aspect of it, the supply chain, but what are other benefits of Velodyne's technology compared to our competitors?
That's a great question, Jane, and we get that one all the time.
All the time.
First of all, I mean, we do have the best technology. I'll come to that in a moment, but it takes a lot more than just having the best technology to succeed commercially. And I cannot overemphasize the fact that for the markets that we're focused on, customers are developing products right now that will go into production in the next several years. And that immediately disqualifies a lot of our competitors. As Laura emphasized, we have real LiDAR solutions that are shipping in volume at high quality levels right now, and that's what our customers need. Second, I want to emphasize the fact that Velodyne is not a components company, nor are we a single market company. We are a solutions company. And we help our customers to deploy LiDAR across a very wide range of applications. And we're able to do that as a result of the breadth of our product portfolio, as Laura talked about, which encompasses both hardware and software. So that sets us apart from many of our competitors. But if you want to talk about specific sensor component specs, Velodyne offers the highest performance at the best price for applications where safety really matters. We have the highest energy efficiency, in fact, 35% higher energy efficiency than the nearest competitor. And that's really important. If you think of electric vehicles, that translates directly into longer range and longer time between charges. Every design of every sensor involves a variety of trade-offs. And we have at Velodyne, thanks to our amazing engineering team and our amazing CTO, really come up with the ideal combination of specifications. Now, it's always possible for a competitor to pick one of those specifications and just optimize the heck out of it. And some of them have done that, but that always requires trade-offs and degradations of other important specs. So Velodyne has really found the optimal combination of range, resolution, field of view, accuracy, energy efficiency, and price, which is critical for our customers. So I don't spend too much time worrying about our competitors. Instead, I focus on our customers and making sure we deliver to them the best solutions at the right time in the right place.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, this one's for all three of you. Would you say the auto industry is the focus and force behind the majority of innovations at CES this year across the board?
Well, who's been at CES?
Not us.
I can chime in there. I think automotive and ADAS is an extremely exciting and extremely big opportunity. And we're going to be there when it happens. Laura already talked about the H800, which is designed for ADAS applications. But as I also emphasized, that's not the only thing we're focused on. And I'm not at CES, but I would be willing to bet that for those of you who are, either virtually or in person, that you're seeing a proliferation of autonomous mobility everywhere. Robotics, drones, last mile delivery, intelligent industrial automation, intelligent transportation systems, smart cities, autonomous vehicles, including shuttles and robo-taxis. And as I mentioned earlier, I think that's where the near-term opportunity is over the next several years, as we're all waiting for ADAS to happen. And as I mentioned, I think Velodyne is uniquely positioned as a result of our product portfolio to really win in those segments.
Yeah, I would just add as well, they're not mutually exclusive. I mean, I think you look at the learnings we can get from planning automotive grade products, the quality, the reliability expectations, and the aggressive pricing that needs to be got to be successful in automotive. Well, these are the same type of needs that you have in industrial and robotics infrastructure space. So we see it very much they're complementary, and our product development is targeted at the appropriate timings for each market. And frankly, the more the volume ramps up, the faster that ramps up, the more we can drive the quality, the cost points down. So it's very beneficial to be in multiple markets and not placing all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I would agree with my colleagues that we're seeing a lot of innovation related to moving goods and people, from robots in an industrial warehouse environment to robots moving outside on the sidewalk to robots/cars moving in the bike lane and moving at faster speeds. And all of the above require, in order to be safe, require LiDAR and a deeper understanding of the 3D physical environment around that robot. So it requires LiDAR plus a really robust solution, which again, to Ted's point earlier, is where further software development is going to be so advantageous for our customers' applications and giving them just a little kickstart into being able to scale their products.
Okay, we have a question for Ted. In your future plans, are there any plans to extend a development of high in the millimeter order accuracy that would make Velodyne enter high accuracy mobile mapping and engineering applications?
We are always looking for ways to improve the accuracy and the resolution and all the performance parameters of our LiDAR in order to accommodate additional markets. So yes.
Great.
Yeah, and maybe just add stuff, if you don't mind, Ted, to that in terms of, we're fairly agnostic as to the physics. We're using time of flight 905 today, but there is active programs going on looking at all the different LiDAR technologies out there, be that flash, be that FMCW, and we will choose the most appropriate for the application. So maybe FMCW for high resolution is the way to go, but we really, what we're looking for is these market opportunities and then applying the technology to that.
Excellent. Okay, I think, hold on, just looking through one thing. Well, I'm going to just jump into this next question. Okay, I know Laura is definitely prepared to talk to this. I'm sure Ted and Sinclair as well. So whoever wants to jump in, go ahead. Where do they go? Are there any new products on the horizon that we should know about from Velodyne?
Yeah, thank you, Jane. I think that one of the things that I'm most proud of is our team's ability to facilitate the right conversations with our customers to understand their problems, the edge cases, those blind spots, so that our R&D teams can be focused on developing the right solution for the customer. So without tipping our hand too much about products and sort of where that's leading us in the future, I can talk a little bit about the Veloray M1600, which is Velodyne's new directional LiDAR. Our customers are using this sensor across multiple industries, industrial and robotics specifically. It hits a few critical points, both from a performance perspective and a price point that is attractive to our customers. And it does that without sacrificing the output, the high quality output that our customers have always expected of Velodyne Lidar.
I would just add to that, that there are really three categories of new products, as I see it. There are some that Laura just talked about that you've already heard before. The Veloray, which consists of the M1600 and the H800, also IIS, that's a new product. The Vela software and our VDK design kit, those are new products as well. And what I mean by that is that they're still very, very early in their life cycle, and we haven't even begun to see the massive ramps that we expect from these products, and we haven't even totally gone into full production yet. So that's exciting. And then secondly, the second category is improvements that we're always making to existing products in terms of improving the accuracy, the resolution, say taking some of those products and moving them to automotive grade and so forth. The third category is new products, which are top secret that we can't share with you today, but you'll hear about over the course of the next year, but we don't want to tip our hand to the competition.
Okay, that's all of our questions. Is there anything you'd like to end with, Ted, before we go?
No, I just, I couldn't be more bullish on the future of LiDAR. Thank you, Sinclair. Thank you, Laura, for highlighting the many opportunities. I think it's an incredibly exciting future that we have ahead of us, and I look forward to keeping you all apprised of our progress over the next year. And we hope to see you all soon, hopefully before the next CES.
Yes.
So thank you for attending today.
Well, welcome to Team Velodyne, Ted. We're really happy you're here. Okay, well, thank you everyone who joined today. We really appreciate your participation, the questions, watching live. We wanted to just let you know, give you a few details about the week, whether or not you are at CES in person or you are celebrating virtually with us. We will be on social media all week, sharing about our partners who are going to be a part of our booth, showing those really amazing use cases that we had planned for you. We will also be sharing those partner presentations on YouTube. So maybe later this afternoon, once we get this recording from the ether, we will get this onto YouTube, and we will have a playlist for our CES 2022 virtual videos. So just keep an eye on social media, keep an eye on our YouTube, and you can stay caught up in everything. And that's all we have today for you. Visit velodynelidar.com to learn more about our products, get contact information, and more. Thank you again, and have a great day.